How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the show. This is Nothing But Facts, and I'm your host, Papa G. So let's get it.
Get a job and work, that shit didn't work. Say all I'm qualified to do is rhyme and spit a verse. And get my feelings hurt every time I sit in church. Real talking dead at me, nigga got me feeling worse. So I ain't congregating about 7 or 8 months. Broke the promise made to myself and started back blazing blunts. I know that's crazy, huh? Feeling like a bad man. I look at me in the mirror, all I see is my dad, man. I got some things that I need to address. Couple issues need to get off my chest, like the fact that I got a son, I ain't been kicking it with him. Got him a phone, I ain't been kicking it with him. Yeah, I miss my little nigga. I try to get him, but me and his mama don't get along. I mean, I call, but the bitch when I pick up the phone, my therapist asked me what I do, the things that I does. Got up, looked it in the eye, and my reply was, exist inside me. I need to get exercise. Otherwise, my environment will be the provider of my demise. Proceed to cry, cause deep inside I know she wasn't lying. Was caught up in the thought of seeing my life televised. So before I go any further, let me apologize for my deeds and all these things that I glorify. Forgive me, Lord, God, I'm an angel trying to fly with broken wings, vision blinded through these clouded skies. And every time I close my eyes,
All right, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? Let's get it going. Let's get it popping today, because I got a lot of show here for you. I'm excited about the show. We got another full one. So today's broadcast is titled Fathers. We have to be ready to fight like hell for our sons. And that's what it really is, you understand? So before we get too far into it, let's go ahead on and open it up with our prayer like we always do, okay? If you're interested, we're over here in Lamentations chapter 3, verses 64 through 66. And it reads, Render unto them recompense, O Lord, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, thy curse unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Lord. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading, hearing, and doing of his work. Now, I just want to get right into it. Our title today is Fathers. We have to be ready to fight like hell for our sons, okay? Listen, I know there's a lot of men out here who it's foreign to you to hear men like myself who are very proud of being a father and the job that we have done with our sons and our daughters, and how we still have communication and a wonderful life with them, okay? If when you checking out my broadcast, if this is foreign to you, try to look into it. Be careful, because see, like, you contact me and you upset because that woman raised your kid on food stamps and welfare, so you trying to shoot a jab at me. But me and my children make money every month. Me and my children are successful together. And I want every man to be able to experience the beauty that I have experienced in being able to raise my children. So if a woman done raised your children, what you need to be doing is trying to join forces with me instead of letting that woman come out of you and try to annoy me, because you're not going to annoy me. I feel sorry for you if you have missed the opportunity of being able to be around your children as they have their little teeth and lose the little teeth to develop their permanent teeth, to watch them grow in and to fill out and to the full people that they become. If that didn't happen before your eyes, don't like be sitting there trying to shoot no shot at me. You should recognize how greatly you have been robbed. And once you do, then that should be reason for you to say, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and wallow in it, and I'm not going to try to poke fun at this man because, you know, he knows something I don't know. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pick myself up from here. I'm going to learn how to be a man. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to start business with my children and make sure that as I'm going to my grave, I'm leaving some people here who are productive, successful, and I'm not worried about how my grandbabies are going to eat because I have done what I was supposed to do and leave generational wealth. Okay? If that's not your claim to fame, hey man, come on, get on board with me, because I'm not doing this to try and point the finger at nobody and make it seem like I'm better than somebody else. Everything that I know I have learned through trial and error, because it's not like my father was trying to build generational wealth with me. You know, it's not like the men in my family set these examples for me. Okay? This has just happened to be what has always been the fiber in me. I'll share with you a little bit here. Okay, when I got taken out of the state, when the state took me from my biological and gave me to my father, we lived at 821 and a half Cater Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. And next door to the apartment complex we lived in was this father and son business. And the grandfather had started the business. Okay, he had taught it to his son. His son had taught it, was teaching it to his son and his grandchildren. And on the corner from me, it was a man on Magazine and Cadiz who actually he repaired shoes. And he had all these machines in there. But in there he had pictures of him and his father teaching him. And I would stop and I would talk with these men. And I seen the pride that these men had and how strong their sons were, even though they were so young, because they had a business. You know, and I remember trying to talk to my father and say, hey, when I grow up, we're going to start father and son business. But that just, it's not something that as black men, we ever stop and pay attention to, because we have allowed the television, the radio, and everything else to take us by the nose and lead us wherever it wants us to go. So as a result, we can't pay attention to what's ours because we so busy trying to take care of Michael Jordan. We so busy trying to take care of Levi or whoever the name brand is, you know, Yeezy, whatever it is. We trying to take care of them over saying, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to buy a vending machine for my children. I'm going to take this money, you know what I'm saying, and I'm going to start a retirement account for my children. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take this money and find some type of financial tool that I'm going to use to invest this money, you know, in my family. You know, so with that, you know, I think that as men, we have to get back to the basics. You know, so I got a few basics that I wrote down that I would like to cover, okay, that I think as men, we really need to pick back up, all right? So I think that like when we have little children and they first come here, you know, couple months old, couple weeks old, is the perfect time for you to go and start some type of financial tool for this child. College fund. I know that these insurance policies pay excellent. Instead of doing a bank account, you can start an insurance policy for your child. That money will pay your child at a much higher interest rate. Even if you turn out to never amount to shit as a parent, the money that you would be taking instead of going to buy the Jordans, instead of going to buy the PlayStation, instead of going to buy the Xbox, you putting this money into your child's insurance account. And it's paying you at a 5, 6, 7% interest rate. and you're not touching this money because you acting like I spent it with Walmart, I spent it with whomever, where I have the PlayStation in the house now, so that money is gone, when in actuality, it's in the account. And these tools are saving money for your children, so that, let's say all you ever did was bounce around from job to job, they hold time until they get 18. But when they get 18, look, you done been investing in this tool over here, this financial tool. So now you got $80,000-$90,000 in this account for your child. You see what I'm saying? To give to your child. To say, hey, now we have learned about each other. Let's start a pressure wash business. Let's do something. You know what I'm saying? You could be buying those things instead of going to spending $1,000 on Christmas, you know, for a whole bunch of bullshit that by March, none of that shit is around anymore. When you could have bought a couple pressure washers, y'all could have been pressure washing driveways, pressure washing buildings and stuff, and getting your kids paid. You understand? Listen, Uncle Sugar know that this is a labor force. And men, we have to recognize that what we speak out of us is our labor force. We cannot let the government continue to be the only one interested in generational wealth. Okay, at some point as men, we have to start saying, you know what? No, I got 3-4 sons. Me and my sons, we're going to start a roofing company. Me and my sons, we're going to learn how to pour cement, start a cement company. Me and my sons, we're going to do something. You see what I'm saying? We're not going to just be 4 different fingers flying in the breeze. But that starts with you having the mentality of understanding from the time that he takes his first breath that this is mine. Well, before you even lay down with her and copulate, there should be a fair understanding already, even if you have to have it in print, that if I have a male child with you, the male child is mine. So in the event that we separate, I want my son to be like me, not you. And we have to be able to just say that to ladies. And ladies, you have to be able to take that with no, like, smack in the face and stuff like that. You understand me? Because we trying to make men men. Listen, another thing with men, getting back to the basics. Look here, bro. Fuck your buddies. Hang with your boys. When I say your boys, I mean your boys, your sons. You understand me? Hang with those people, okay? Because, you know, that's your crew. That's what you need right there, okay? All right. Anything else is a waste of time, okay? And you don't want to be caught up in that game where you got your labor force, but instead of you recognizing, I have my young team right here for me to shape and mold and build and guide. Instead, I'm going to go and try to join up with these people out here in the street who I don't have anything with, no camaraderie or nothing like that. We just met and grew up along the way. But this is blood of my blood, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. So why wouldn't I take my time to impress upon him and make myself his hero so that he would be willing to follow me? And then me and him, however many sons you have, come together and formulate a plan on how we're going to make sure that not only he eat, but his children and children eat. You understand? So fuck your buddies, okay? And hang with your boys, your sons. All right? You will be I'm going to tell you something. You would rather die in a bed with a bunch of children around you that's grown and self-sufficient and independent, that care and appreciate you for the life that you provided for them and made sure that they're okay and gave them a good guide and a good way in life, than to die somewhere where some of them don't even give a fuck and they got to call them and tell them that you died because they too busy trying to make it for themselves. So you at home dying, but they couldn't get off work. But if you had taken that money and started a barbecue business instead of buying all them motherfucking high brand shoes, saving that money, instead of buying equipment because you was damn good at barbecuing. Before you know it, you got 4, 5 smokers. It done took you 3, 4, 5 years, but you got 4, 5 badass smokers, 3, 4 badass barbecue pits. You understand me? Your name is ranking, and you're steady doing things because when you get equipment, you're gonna make money. And then you doing this work with your children, so they are building up a pride and everything about this business and what it is, and they seeing what it's doing for the family and how it's blessing the family, so they want to grow it and keep it going. You understand? But we got to stop being a bunch of self-centered bitches. You know, you got to understand that you are a servant, and your job is to make sure that you take care of the people you create. The only way we're going to be able to do this, though, is to realize that we have to attack the bully. And who's the bully? We all know who the goddamn bully is. The bully is child support, the attorney general, family court, the minister at your church, the state, federal, and local government, the Department of Corrections, the Department of Education, and every entity that claims some authority and responsibility in life, all right? And instead of railing against this injustice that's happening and speaking out and saying, wait a minute, the reason society has fallen down is because fathers' rights are being disrespected, okay? We're not saying that. And until we get to the point to be able to say fathers' rights is being disrespected, and we all have to stand up for this and fight for this so that the young men can stop being a danger to us all. You know, let me tell you something. I'm 51, about to be 52 years old. This me can't do nothing with the 18-year-old me. So if it's an 18-year-old, 17-year-old out here on the rampage, on the rage, okay, there is nothing that can be done. He is just an apex predator. He should have been given to his father from the age of however many months it was when him and the mother separated. Okay? In order for us to lower the incarceration rate, in order for us to have a country that can enter into World War III with the possibility of winning it, in order to have a country where the young people have integrity and won't go in the store and steal. You see, because a young man or young lady that's being raised by a hardworking father that's providing for the family and giving the family integrity and pride, they're not going to go out there and do something to disrespect the family name and possibly have everybody find out about it and have their name dragged all through the mud. You know, the only way you catch a child doing something like that, they deliberately try to act out and shame the parent. You know, so we have to just, man, look, we have to accept the fact that if it means that much to the state to get control over our children so that they can be prosperous, you know what I'm saying, and move on and keep in power, it should mean that much to us to investigate and say, you know what I'm saying, hey, what do we get out of, I mean, what are they getting out of this, and what am I not getting out of this, you know, and when you realize this, if you've been buying this equipment and doing all these kind of things like I'm telling you, then you're going to be able to go to work for yourself. When you go to work for yourself, that is true freedom. It is true freedom because you are the one who control your taxes. You are the one who control everything. You don't have to sit up and wait on the government to give you a check. And it's time for us to realize that our government has given foreigners business loans in a manner that they have occupied our communities and used that as a direct tool to prevent us from experiencing generational wealth in our communities by removing the wealth out of the community. Any country that we go to war with, they give those citizens business loans to have community stores in our communities, not in the white community. Because white people will never let foreigners make money off them, but they don't mind that they drain the money out of our economy, our communities. And we have to wake up and men, we have to get our sons, and we have to go back to providing everything that our communities need. We have to be able to join forces, all of the men in the community, and go up to the corner store man and tell him, hey, listen, Mr. Abraham, I'm more than sure you're a good guy, but we're not gonna come to this store no more, and we're not gonna be letting our dollars come up in here, and we have to, for real, we have to replace these people with images of ourselves. If you give a fuck about your children, if you give a fuck about having a peaceful community, you have to be able to instill pride in these children by letting these children be able to see examples of themselves doing things. If this is a majority black community, you can't have an all-white fire department. You understand me? If this is a majority black community, you can't have a white chief of police. You can't. Our history say we can't trust that. You know what I'm saying? And we can't go against the facts that we have on the table for good wishes and emotions and good feelings and good intentions. We got to go with no. Unfortunately, we're not going to trust this because in the past it has not been trustworthy. But we have to remove these people from our communities. And it doesn't matter that the government give them a small business loan. Ladies, you grow hair, you have hair. And if you can't find a black lady to buy hair from, don't buy hair. If you can't find a black lady to buy nail polish from, don't buy nail polish. Or fingernails, anything that you need. We have to, this is the way we're going to get them to finally let us free. Listen, the shepherd of the flock is a male. The shepherd is the leader. All of the sheep follow the shepherd. You understand? So if the shepherd is a male and I am a male, you understand that males are the leaders. So ladies, turn your back on the attorney general, please. Turn your back on child support, please. Turn your back on family court and all of these entities that are trying to come in between us and the children and give the male children to their fathers. Men, ladies, let's come together. Let's get a petition going. Let's all sign it, saying that when a man and a woman separate, we want the male child to go with his father. We know the benefits of a young man having that first relationship with his biological father. And this is what we want. Do you know how many young people are going to live and make 18 and grow old and be grandparents who ordinarily would not have lived if we allow Cain's children to keep on leading and directing us? I know it makes good sense to you that if the state cared and they wanted to take care, help you out with your baby, that they should help you out with your baby, but still try to make it as easy as possible for the father to be a part of the baby's life, because simply because the state have to step in and help you shows that as a couple, the two of you guys are insufficient to take care of the child. Because let me explain something to you. If I had my child or my children, I would not need to put the other parent on child support. I know that for a fact. I don't care what amount of money it took to raise my children the proper way, I would make that amount of money and more. So if we understand that it's on both parents to raise the children, then we need to tell the state no more of this victimization that you're doing where you try to make one parent while you help the other parent out. We're not doing that. We're not doing that no more. If you helping us out, you helping us out. But you're not going to keep us in a state of disarray, all right, by like you gonna help the mother, but the child can't get none of the benefits that the father bring because you're going to keep the father locked up and in such a state of anger and upset that he not even going to want to be bothered with his own child. And scientifically, you know how to do it. Ladies, they are low down. We have to get back to the basics. You understand me? Please trust us, trust men. Let's start having a community conversation. Let's come together, and start exposing this bully and talking about what he does. Because he knows that men bring a certain thing to the table that will prevent him from being able to keep us in this slaughter that he have us in. Okay? Let me explain something to you, men. A man is a disciplined person. I love chocolate. If I start selling chocolate, I no longer eat chocolate. I could start selling the brand of chocolate that I most love because nothing interferes with profits, because I understand I have to be a good steward and a good shepherd with my money. I would no longer eat chocolate. This is the discipline that we have to have as fathers so that we won't be profane men. And in that discipline, you're going to set that standard for your children. This is what the state don't want. They don't want your children to be able to see that you get up and you go out here and you do what you do and you make this paper for your family. You understand me? And you invest this money in your family and you grow. You don't go out here and have a PlayStation in every room, a 60-inch TV in every room. You know what I'm saying? You don't go out here and buying a new car every 2-3 months. No. You got wife, 2 children, about to have a 3rd child. What that mean? That mean that this family needs to come together and invest in a dealer's license, because we are going to be needing vehicles, and we don't need to be being bad stewards with our money and going out here and always trying to get this man to approve our credit. We don't have no money. So we have to be very wise with our money. And men, we have to be the one to show this discipline so that when somebody say to your wife, girl, I sure need a car, she'll be like, Arthur got the dealer's license, girl. He can go get that thing for you. This is how we supposed to be. She's not supposed to leave out the community and go to no white man or no Mexican man or no Chinese man to buy a car. It's supposed to be Mr. Brown, Mr. Green, Mr. Blue, Paul. You know what I'm saying? Men, we have to live up to who we are, because there are certain things that are specific that we bring to the table. And a lot of times, knowledge of what I'm about to talk about does not come until you pass 20. I'm talking about testosterone. It is something unique to males. Females do generate it, but they generate it in very minute quantities. Excuse me. But it is the male sex driver. It is the male muscle producer. It is the male voice deepener. It is the thing that makes the male grow hair. It is the distinguishing feature besides the Y chromosome that lets you know uniquely this is male. You understand? Without this person could be dead. These qualities will still distinct. This person is male, that Y chromosome, that testosterone. You understand? Females have estrogen. That's opposite of testosterone. Okay? So that's how males can't be males and females can't be females, because chemically, males can't be females, and females can't be males because chemically we are different. We produce different things. Like I produce sperm, semen. Women cannot produce sperm, semen. My semen fertilizes her egg. I was talking with a young lady, and she made me mad because she was like, a woman could get another woman pregnant. And I had to tell her, I said, you too old to be talking stupid like that. And I didn't mean to have to say that, but you know, I would have been a coward for not saying it. But back to what I'm talking about here. These are distinguishing features for males. You know, we have testicles. Females do not have testicles. You know, for the most part, only males have facial hair. Your anomalies, and as they get older. So if we understand that this is not something that we get control of until we're in our 30s, why would we allow the ladies to be in possession of a weapon this dangerous? An apex predator going through his testosterone phase. Let me tell you some things that men cannot do, which distinguishes male from female. Men cannot have a miscarriage. Men cannot conceive. We cannot have a monthly cycle, nor can we have ovarian or uterine cancer. Men cannot get a hysterectomy or go through menopause. We cannot breastfeed, although the person that sent me I'm not gonna say his name because I wouldn't put people on blast like that, but he sent me a messenger, and in the messenger, the woman was lactating milk into the bottle so that she could put it up for later, and he told me I was the woman in the picture, right? And I laughed, you know what I'm saying? Because I've heard of people believing that men can breastfeed. And I just politely informed the brother that men cannot breastfeed. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to put that on the table, that a lady can't get another lady pregnant and men cannot breastfeed. Okay? So for anybody that never took anatomy and physiology before, that can never happen. All right? And men cannot go into labor, and we cannot deliver a baby, not through our bodies. So if we are incapable of doing any of these things, how can we trans into something else? You cannot trans into something else if this is all of your equipment right here. You don't have no other equipment. You can't do nothing else. You know, where does all this equipment go? Right. And then I'm going to name just a few things on the ladies because I mainly like to talk to my fellas. But women cannot contract testicular cancer. They cannot get a vasectomy. They cannot suffer from erectile difficulty. Those things are unique to men. Okay? If you accept that, this word is about the Father and the Son. From the beginning to the end of this word, it's about the Father and the Son. Okay, the sacrifice that the Father let the Son make for us. How can we be so unaware and talk about all of the other things and ignore that most important relationship and allow child support, family court, the attorney general, the federal, to just destroy the family, and then because it's such some of our very, very basic stuff, people don't pay attention to it. All right, we have to raise up, and we have to make these entities things of the past. And if they are going to function, they're going to function under a whole nother set of guidelines with a whole nother set of rules, because they are directly in league with the correctional facility to increase their profits and destroy middle class and poor people. And the results are there. So anybody that says something different, you just, I don't know what rock you've been under, but crawl back under. You know, every relationship you see, you know, Noah built the ark, David and Goliath, Moses. Every person in the word is male or female. You know, at no time do anybody in the word ever trans. And when they do speak about those type of people, they speak about those type of people being in a negative light, being an abomination. You know, fathers, listen. We are actually in a fight with our own country, for real, with the government of the United States of America, because they don't want us to be in control of the male children, because they want to, it's all for $1. Without being long-winded, the original motivation is $1. Okay? And because they Cain's children are doing this to some of their own brothers and sisters, as well as doing this to us. Because like I've often said, it's a double-edged sword. You know, and so even if you don't believe in the Creator and his son, but you want to be a good father to your son and teach him good values and to be a man and not a woman and all this kind of stuff, the United States of America is against you too. United States of America declared war on the covenant of marriage in the year of 2015 by trying to change the canon and make it be a marriage between a man and a man and a woman and a woman and a man and a horse and a woman and a horse and two men and a woman and two women and a man. You understand me? United States of America made sodomy legal in 2003. How can they promote and do all of these things if they allow the father to have custody of his sons? First right of parenthood. It's our own government that is conspiring and has conspired to destroy us. Our own system. And we have to raise up and put things back in its proper place, in its proper context. Men lead this country. There is nothing wrong with telling the truth. And we're going to keep on leading and defending and protecting this country. And ladies are going to keep on benefiting off of our leadership. Okay? And that's just all to it. I want to give a shout out to Uganda. If I had to pick anywhere to move, I think Uganda would be top on my list right now, because the United States of America tried to bully that country. And instead of getting the results that they wanted by saying that they was going to do economic sanctions and all this kind of stuff to those people, they passed a law. First, they partnered with Russia and China against us. And they let China have all of the precious minerals in their country. Right? Well, China helping them to mine the minerals, not us. Then Uganda passed a law that if you say you gay, you get 20 years in jail or life. If you engage in homosexual activity, it's the death penalty. So nobody else is trying to adopt this foolishness that we down with. We're not about to go to other countries and try to tell people what to do with their sex organs and act like we bringing enlightenment to them. Somebody please, who can, if it's somebody important listening to this, like get the president some help. Like let him see a doctor or something, you know what I'm saying? And there is no way in the world an 80-year-old man is supposed to be talking about trans men and women. And this man was born in the early 1900s. Please don't vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Black people, please stay home. Voting ain't never got us nowhere. We've been doing it all this time. If voting was gonna do something, it'd be done it by now. That's just how I feel. You know, I want to define the word sacrifice real quick because, you know, Papa G, I like to define stuff. You understand? Because all throughout this book, once again, I'll say it, all they talk about is the father-son relationship, the father-son sacrifice. The mother-daughter relationship is not emphasized in here as much as the father-son. The mother-daughter is not stressed, and no woman ain't made no sacrifice for mankind. You understand me? So give us our children. Okay? Sacrifice is an act of slaughtering an animal or person or suffering, a possession and an offering to God. It is also to surrender something for the sake of something else. And in that reference, the last one is almost like a negotiation. But a sacrifice is when you give up something that you really want to get something else that you want even more. Like I gave up fornication and lust because I wanted salvation more. You understand? That's how it works. And in order to do that, you have to be a disciplined man. They don't want us to be disciplined. They want us to be the type of people that's weak and run with urges, run with emotions. How do you get a man to be full of emotions and run with urges? Huh? You let a woman rule over him. How do you have a woman to usurp a man? Huh? You let her raise him by herself. Ladies, you're not supposed to be trying to usurp no type of authority over us. Give them boys to their father. I'm telling you, if we don't do this, this is going to be something that, ladies, you're going to have to answer for. Because you partnered up with that old snake. You know what I'm saying? And wouldn't that be something if tomorrow we wake up and hundreds of thousands of people have just disappeared? Man, wouldn't that be something? Because we in that time right now where our president and our vice president is running around telling the whole world that men's supposed to lay with men and women's supposed to lay with women, and that's a human rights issue. We are a superpower with nuclear weapons and atomic weapons, you know, and supersonic weapons and everything else. And we're running around saying that there is no such thing as a boy and a girl or a man and a woman. The whole rest of the world is scared. They joining forces with one another. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what can we do if we have to fight them? You know? And all you see is the melanated countries coming together to try and promote homosexuality, and the non-melanated countries and continents rejecting it. You know what I'm saying? And do you notice how they get mad when you reject their stuff and they say you spreading hate? They go straight to the fighting words. You spreading hate. You know why? Because we are in Matthew chapter 11, verse 12. You know it was coming, and you know I was going to read it to you. So just buckle on down, here it go. Okay? And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. I'm not going to stop reading that. I'm not going to stop reading that. I'm not going to stop reading that, because if it's okay for the preacher to have a pistol in the pulpit, it's okay for you to have a pistol in the pew. So everybody should be sitting up in the church with a pistol. The preacher in the pulpit with a pistol. The congregation in the pew with a pistol. Everybody packing. Where's y'all faith? But we'll wait. Wouldn't that be something? We wake up tomorrow and hundreds of thousands of people are gone? Huh? And at that point, you know what's going to happen? You know what happened? If we wake up like and hundreds of thousands, millions of people are just gone. Well, 144,000 people are just gone. You know what that means? That means you can go up to a 10-story building and jump off it. You ain't going to die. That's what that means. That's what that means. If you don't know, go look up the rest. You dig? Because there ain't going to be no more debt at that point. All right? So if we know that we're in a time when America is becoming Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, and France and Great Britain is becoming Sodom and Gomorrah, and then we getting ready to go to war with other countries because they don't want to accept homosexuality. We doing financial war against other countries because they don't want to accept homosexuality. So those people are turning their back on us. And they saying this is a delusional nation. And those other two are delusional nations. So you know how Papa G is. We're going to look up the word delusional. Like the head, here it go. Delusional. Holding false beliefs or judgment about external reality that are held despite incontrovertible evidence to the contrary. Typically, a symptom of a mental condition. A false belief that a person holds that is not based in reality. So when Joe Biden goes to Africa and tells them that he no longer is a man, that he's a woman, and Kamala Harris goes to Africa and tells them that when she feels like it, she can be a man, and when she feels like it, she can be a woman, and this is the human rights issue, these people are saying that whole country is delusional. And why are they saying the whole country is delusional? Because we elected him. I voted for that damn fool. You voted for him too. That's why I don't vote no more. Because I'm smart enough to know not to put that old ass man in fucking office. And if you go back and read my messages on the Facebook, I was saying this. But I went along to get along with my people. But I'm not going to hell with y'all. I'm not going to hell with y'all. And to hell with y'all, I'm not voting no fucking more. Okay? Want to shout out to Namibia. Namibia kicked Germany, or kicking Germany out of their country. They also partnering up with China, letting China have all the natural resources. You know, I don't know what we're going to be left with as a nation if all of the nations then turn their back on us. You know, I mean, we in trouble, y'all. So I'm going to leave y'all with this here. You know, we all know that Jesus Christ is the Son of Jehovah, the true and living God. You understand me? And then we know that Lucifer is the son of the morning star. I'm sorry, is the son of the morning. Not the morning star, the morning. Okay? When we go over to Isaiah 14:12, and it reads, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?" So, Lucifer is the son of the morning. All throughout this book, the Father is given credit for his child. All throughout this book, men, the children are ours. We have to stand up as men. We have to be willing to go to war for this issue. You understand? We have to be willing to go to the penitentiary for this issue. We have to be willing to go on a hunger strike for this issue. You understand? Men, we have to be willing to die If you're not willing to die for your children, for your sons, why are you here? Huh? If you'll stand up and fight to keep somebody from taking your manhood, but you won't stand up and fight to keep somebody from stealing your seed, from stealing your workforce, from stealing the most important thing in this world to you, huh? We have to wake up as a people, and we have to realize that this is the civil rights issue of our time. And there is nothing more important in this world than standing up and fighting to get father's right, first right of fatherhood established in America. Okay? And if we don't do this, our cities will never be safe. If we don't do this, our children will continue to be a threat to them very selves. If we don't do this, we see what they're trying to do. They're trying to tell our boys that you can be whatever you want to be, a boy or a girl or a zebra or a giraffe. We're going to have boys walking around here talking about something. I'm a lion, you know? So I guess I get to be a Middle Eastern man, right? So now where's my cornerstone? So I like to take this time to say my Cash App is $Gil Muse. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to Papa G, because everybody's day is precious. And if you'd like to send me a little something until my page get monetized, thank you, please. I appreciate you. Also, I want to holler out to Mr. Andrew Tate. You know, awesome job that you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Mr. Late great Kevin Samuels. You know, hey, Fresh and Fit, man. I watch you fellas religiously. Keep doing what you're doing, because young people, especially men, need to understand that we are the prize, okay? And our sons are our prize as well. So until the next time, this next broadcast, this has been Papa G saying, I love you and I love everybody. Peace.
Get a job and work, that shit didn't work. Say all I'm qualified to do is rhyme and spit a verse. Get my feelings hurt every time I sit in church. Real talking dead at me, nigga got me feeling worse. So I ain't congregating about 7 or 8 months. Broke the promise made to myself and started back blazing blunts. I know that's crazy, huh? Feeling like a bad man. I look at me in the mirror, all I see is my dad, man. I got some things that I need to address. Couple issues need to get off my chest, like the fact that I got a son, I ain't been kicking it with him. Got him a ball, I ain't been pitching it with him. Yeah, I miss my little nigga. I try to get him, but me and his mama don't get along. I mean, I call, but the bitch when I